All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, after several years of mismanagement and reckless use of state resources by the PDP and the Buhari government, Peter Obi made it clear to Nigerians that we were at a point as a nation where we could not afford to employ the wrong hands for the business of governance. According to Obi, we got away with all that in the past, but we are now at a point where every careless decision will hurt us badly as a nation. And that is what we have been seeing in the last 11 months under this administration. They have been moving from one terrible decision to another, and the citizens of this country have been the ones paying heavily for their poor decisions. And the bad news is there are no signs that this administration will start making the right moves soon. Why? Because recent utterances from key members of the economic team show that there is a huge confusion. I mean, very serious confusion in TINUBU's economic team. Key members of the economic team do not agree with one another. CBN Governor CARDOSO few hours ago gave a breakdown that completely agrees with the position of obedience on the issue of the economy. When this administration began sharing food in the name of palliatives to Nigerians, we said it was not sustainable. We said it was better to work vigorously on how to get Nigerians to be productive themselves. For instance, fixing insecurity to help farmers return to farms. You can't just be sharing noodles of rice to people. It is not sustainable. But some thought we were trying to hold government back from performing. At the end of the day, the palliative sharing exercise failed woefully. And few hours ago, CBN Governor CARDOSO came out and said Tinubu's food palliative made inflation go from bad to worse, meaning the move was a disaster. Before I show you how he said it and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this great speech by Otti. It is now people's turn in Abia. Politicians have enjoyed enough. Otti, who made the declaration while hosting a delegation of the Course 17 Syndicate 2 of the National Institute for Security Studies Abuja at Government House Umuahia, said he was on a mission to make the masses and not just a handful of privileged politicians have a taste of good governance. This is the people's time. Politicians have helped themselves enough for the past 24 years, Otti thundered. Commenting on the theme of the research work of his guests, artificial intelligence, security and emerging economies in Africa, challenges and prospects, Otti said time had come for the country to embrace artificial intelligence because of its numerous advantages. He said that AI had become very crucial in virtually every field of human development, especially in cybersecurity and fight against financial crimes. Your research theme is apt, particularly at this time when artificial intelligence has taken over from native intelligence. It may look esoteric at this time when you talk about robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, driverless cars, electric vehicles. Whether you like it or not, that is the direction the world is going. And you refuse to key in and come on board at your own peril. So I like the foresight and I would like to encourage you to continue in that direction. Otti also informed his guests that his administration maintained a robust relationship with security agencies in the state, recalling how previous administration used security agents to oppress the opposition. Otti vowed that he would never use security operatives for personal gains. He claimed that the correctional center of Afara Umuahia used to be a dumping ground for political opponents under past administrations, saying he had decongested the facility of politically detained inmates. One thing that nobody in this government will do is to ask security agencies or security men to do the wrong thing. Anytime we call you, it is for the general interest of the state. We don't have any personal interest to pursue. We don't have any enemies to arrest. Wow, what a speech. And it is needless to say that Nigerians flooded the comment section of that update, showering encomiums on Otti and congratulating the people of Abia This particular tweet caught my attention. This tweet from Jaye Obaoluwaseun. He says, "This is what we want all over the nation, and we, the people, will take over through men like this." That is it. It is men like Alex Otti that we need to get this country fixed. And we already have His Excellency Peter Obi. Nigerians should do well to rally behind him, to get him up there and watch this country turn around and take its place amongst reputable nations of this world. Now, let us look at that statement from CBN Governor Yemi CARDOSO that got Nigerians talking. Look at how the papers reported it. Government palliative worsening food inflation, says CARDOSO. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi CARDOSO, has said that the huge purchase of foodstuffs by the government as palliatives is contributing to the galloping food inflation in the country. He stated this in his contributions during the March Monetary Policy Committee, which was published on the website of the CBN. The MPC increased the benchmark interest rate to 24.75% from 22.75%. The committee had said that its hawkish stance was to tackle inflation. However, the country's inflation rate accelerated to 33.2% in March, with the food inflation rate reaching 40.01%, a year-on-year increase of 15.56 percentage points from 24.45% in March 2023. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the surge in food inflation could be attributed to rising prices for items such as garri, millet, yam tubers, water yam, and others. Following the removal of fuel subsidy, the federal government approved $5 billion for each state and the Federal Capital Territory to enable them to procure food items for distribution to the poor in their respective states. This could be considered as evidence of the impact of decisions reached at the 293rd MPC meeting. Staff reports show that the principal drivers of acceleration in inflation are hikes in food and energy prices, which are associated with structural factors. Further, new dimensions of inflationary pressure are emerging. First, seller inflation, arising from the oligopolistic structure of commodity markets, such as noticed in the prices of local commodities, is gaining significance. In addition, huge purchases by the government for distribution as palliatives to vulnerable citizenry is adding another dimension to the food price inflation, with seasonal factors of food price increases during religious fasting and festive periods adding price cyclicality. You heard that? That was Yemi CARDOSO, the CBN governor, highlighting the impact of TINUBU's food palliative initiative on inflation. He said it has a very negative impact. This is an initiative that other members of TINUBU's economic team, like Minister of Finance Wale Edun, believes in so much. But the CBN governor is here condemning the initiative. Can you see the confusion in that camp? And CARDOSO is one person who hardly holds back. Remember, 2 months ago, he said Nigerians should tone down on their criticisms of him, CARDOSO, and his team. He said because most of the mistakes he's fighting to correct had already been made before he was employed as CBN governor in September. That was CARDOSO trying to distance himself from TINUBU's failure. And today, he's saying their food palliative initiative impacted negatively on the country's inflation. And Stone in the comments says, this guy will soon get tired of APC shenanigans and quietly retire or resign. Mark my words, it looks like CARDOSO may resign because the guy's, open condemnation of some of the things that the administration does is alarming. And this tweet by Advocacy for Good Governance says, APC is so confused, honestly. I really don't understand how some Nigerians still support and defend these people. And Abdul Gbenga Oluwole says, I tire, oh my brother, I tire. Olani Ike Olalere says, we told you all, government don't have business in sharing of food. Fix the economy, that is it. And Idris Dada says, palliative is a terrible government policy that enriches some people and impoverishes the majority. I expect food and price control, and if we are short of food, we can import from our neighbors with good deal and at affordable rates. That is the difficult path. APC don't like to take the difficult path. They like to take the easy path that is laced with corruption so that they can siphon money through those means. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the confusion. Neither am I surprised by the failure. This is the APC, and I don't expect anything less. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians, if we want to enjoy the dividends of democracy, if we want to begin to feel the impact of being citizens of an oil-producing state, then we need to come together, put our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news where una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.